guys, it's Nasim here. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys a very special look at the brand new Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. Now if I'm being honest, I think that the Galaxy S22 Plus is arguably the best Galaxy that most people will end up liking, because when you think about it, it fills every single box that most people will need when it comes to a flagship Galaxy phone. It has an amazing screen just like on the S22 Ultra. It has an extremely powerful processor just like on the S22 Ultra. It has a top tier camera that most people will love just like on the S22 Ultra. And it has an overall premium feel just like on the 22 Ultra, while also having a cheaper price. And yeah, you can look at the S22 Plus and say that it doesn't have an S Pen, it doesn't have 100 times zoom, and it doesn't have a newer look. But if we're being honest, most people don't really care about the S Pen, most people don't really care about the 100 times zoom, and most people actually prefer the S21's camera bump over the S22 Ultra's bumpless cameras. So overall, I think that the S22 Plus is the phone most people will go with. And the fact that Samsung was able to make the S22 Ultra so different, I think that it can create a whole new wave of people who will like the S22 Plus, since it stays true to what a regular Galaxy S series phone should be. But before I give you guys some insight as to how great the S22 Plus is, the first thing that we have to do is unbox this thing, right? Now the first thing that I noticed when I was unboxing the S22 Plus was the fact that the box had a very cool black and green aesthetic to it. Like on the front, you can see the small green S with a huge 22 on the front, which looks really professional and colorful at the same time. Now when we look at the sides of the box, we can see that it has the full name of the phone in that same green text. And on the other side, we can see that the Samsung text has the exact same wording. Now the first thing that we see when we open the box is the S22 Plus itself. And one thing that I must say that I already love about this phone is that it really stays true to the beautiful design of the S21 series. Like right here on the back, we have the same exact cutout like on the S21 Plus with our wide, ultra wide, and telephoto lens. And on the side of that, we have the flash, and on the bottom we have our Samsung logo. And even though the camera bumps look exactly the same as the S21 Plus, one difference that I noticed was the fact that the bump was much skinnier and blended into the sides even better, so it has a more updated feel. And when we look at the rest of the phone, we can see that on the top there's nothing but the microphone. On the left side of the phone there also isn't very much. On the right side we have the up and down volume buttons, the power button, and an antenna. And last but not least, on the bottom we have our USB Type-C charging port along with our SIM card slot and speakers. Now when we look at the screen, we can see that just like on the previous S21 Plus, we have the hole punch camera cutout in the middle. And something that I really loved about the screen is the fact that it doesn't have a curved edge display, so you won't be getting any accidental touches, and using the screen will overall be much easier on a day-to-day basis. Now the final things that we have in the box is our SIM ejection tool, our starter guide, and the USB Type-C to USB Type-C charging cable, which again means that we will not be getting the charging brick in the box. Now another thing that really makes the S22 Plus stand out as a whole is the fact that we get a whole new set of colors, starting with Phantom Black, Phantom White, Green, Pink Gold, Graphite, Cream, Sky Blue, and Violet. And right here, we can see that I have the green S22 Plus, and I will say that this is definitely my favorite out of all of the colors. I also like that instead of getting two different colors like on the S21 Plus, we get to keep the professional one color scheme that not only looks good, but it is also very uniform while also still being able to maintain that very serious look. Even when we look at the green in the light, we can see that the colors begin to really pop out, but once I go into a room where the lighting isn't great, the phone usually blends in. I also really love the fact that it has a matte texture, so again light could reflect off of it nicely and give it a very clean and sleek vibe to complement the glossy sides. Now when we look at the build quality of the S22 Plus, I would say that if you really like the build on the S21 Plus, then you'll love the S22 Plus even more. I loved how just like on the S21 Plus, the S22 Plus still had a really good weight to it. And I wouldn't say that it was as heavy as the S22 Ultra, but I will say that it was a little bit lighter, which still gave me a premium feel. I also really like that the sides were very squared off, so it resulted in it being much easier to hold, and whenever I was holding it in my hand, I was able to get a good grip. The S22 Plus also supports Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, just like on the S22 Ultra, which means that the S22 Plus is more than moderately durable. So if you are someone who drops your phone a lot and doesn't use a case, then your phone will still be able to last you a very long time. The S22 Plus is also IP68 water and dust resistant, so if you were to accidentally drop your phone in water, spill something on it, or go to the beach, you'll be perfectly fine. Now when we look at the physicality of the Galaxy S22 Plus, we can see that it has a height of 157 millimeters, a length of 75.8 millimeters, and a width of 7.6 millimeters, which means that it's only a little bit smaller than the S22 Ultra and way bigger than the regular S22. And since I have big hands and like big phones, I had no problem with how comfortable the S22 Plus was. And even if you are someone who has smaller hands but still like big phones, the S22 Plus will still feel great because of the squared off sides, which will help you grip the phone better. The only problem is that reaching across the screen can be a hassle, but after a while you get kind of used to it. The S22 Plus is not too big when compared to the S22 Ultra, so I feel like it will be the perfect size for people who want a bigger phone, but not the biggest phone. Now the Galaxy S22 Plus has a 6.6 inch flat dynamic AMOLED display that supports a 120Hz refresh rate and has a brightness of 1750 nits, just like on the S22 Ultra. And if I'm being honest, I think that the S22 Plus and the S22 Ultra have the best displays in the smartphone market. The colors are extremely vibrant while also having a very realistic aspect to them. It has one of the brightest screens that only a few can compare to. It has amazing haptics that makes the phone feel as smooth as any top tier flagship, and has an amazing size that makes the experience much more enjoyable. And to show you guys what I mean, here is me playing video games and watching videos on my Galaxy S22 Plus. Guys, it's Nassim here. Now, after using the Galaxy Z Flip 3 for about 5 months now, the one thing that kept coming to my mind was this simple statement that I feel rounds up the Z Flip 3 pretty perfectly. Now, the Galaxy S22 Plus has a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel wide, and 10 megapixel telephoto camera that still holds up very well when compared to other top tier flagships. Like right here, when we look at the outside daytime photos, we can see that the contrast was really good, the selfies were really good, and the sharpness was also really good, but whenever I would capture trees, there was definitely too much sharpness at times. And when we look at the nighttime outside photos, we can see that these were also really amazing thanks to the night mode on the camera. The colors were great, the selfies looked great, and the overall vibe added a great realistic aspect to it. Now when we look at the daytime inside photos, these were also pretty good, but there were definitely times where I would get some grain, which really hindered the picture sometimes. Now last but not least, when we look at the nighttime inside photos, I would say that these were the worst out of all the environments. The graininess was at an all-time high, and the quality got much worse. But when I turned the lights on, the quality really made up for what the previous were lacking. And looking at additional specs of the Galaxy S22 Plus, it has a 4500 mAh battery that I will be testing in my next review. It has 156 to 256 gigs worth of storage, which honestly could be better. And it supports 45 watt super fast charging. And there it is, you guys, my review on the Galaxy S22 Plus. Now stay tuned because I do have my day in the life review and also my second review coming, so make sure you subscribe. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one.